When we think about clean energy, our minds usually go up to the sun, to the wind. But what if one of the most powerful, most consistent, and most untapped sources of energy has been right there in front of us this whole time, just rolling onto our shores second after second? Today, we're going to dive into a pretty incredible project in Argentina that's looking to harness the immense power of ocean waves.
So let's just start with this one question. What if a country's key to energy independence wasn't something they had to dig for, but was instead the rhythm of its own coastline? This is the big idea that's driving a huge leap forward in renewable energy. Okay, so first things first, let's get a handle on why the ocean is such an unbelievable power source. We're talking about a level of energy that, well, it makes other renewables look almost gentle by comparison. Look, solar and wind are fantastic, don't get me wrong, but they have their limits, right? The sun sets, the wind can just stop. The ocean, though, it operates on a completely different scale of power and consistency. Let's really look at what that means in terms of raw energy. And this is where it gets really wild, the sheer density of the energy. This chart says it all. Wave energy is 5 times more concentrated than wind, and a staggering 10 to 30 times denser than solar. What that means is you can generate a massive amount of power from a relatively tiny area. And that brings us to the other huge advantage: consistency. I mean, the sun goes down, the wind dies down, but ocean waves are remarkably constant. We're talking 24/7 all year long. This gives wave power an incredibly high capacity factor, which basically means it's producing power almost all the time. And as you can see, the design they've come up with allows for a very low impact on marine ecosystems. All right, so with all this incredible potential just sitting there, who's actually turning these waves into watts? Well, the answer takes us to Argentina, where a really dedicated team has developed a truly homegrown solution. So the project has this one super clear, super ambitious goal: to build and install the country's very first full-scale wave energy converter. And the most important part? It's all based entirely on technology developed right there, at home.
The brains behind this whole operation are an interdisciplinary team. We're talking researchers, engineers, professionals, even students from the National Technological University in Buenos Aires. They've pulled together experts in engineering, oceanography, you name it, to tackle this challenge. And you gotta hear this quote from the project team, because it just sums everything up perfectly. This isn't just about generating clean power. It's about achieving energy sovereignty, building up a national industry, and creating a solution for Argentina by Argentina. Okay, so we've covered the why. Now for the really cool part, the how. How in the world do you actually capture the chaotic, powerful motion of the ocean and turn it into the stable electricity we need to power our homes? Well, the engineering is surprisingly elegant. It works in 3 simple steps, as you can see right here. First, you've got these large buoys on the surface that rise and fall, just perfectly mimicking the motion of the waves. Second, these lever arms transmit that simple up and down movement to a central hub. And third, inside that hub, a really clever mechanism converts all that bobbing into a smooth rotation that drives an electric generator. It is pure mechanical genius. And hey, this isn't just some theory or a drawing on a napkin. You can see the journey right here, from a clean digital render on a computer screen to an actual physical prototype getting put to the test in a controlled wave tank. This is exactly how you prove a concept works before you take on the full power of the open ocean. So the tech works in a tank, that's great. But what happens when you scale it up? What could this really, truly mean for the country? Let's talk about the real-world impact. A single one of these converters is designed to generate a standard power of 30 kilowatts. That's enough to power several homes all by itself. But the real magic here is that the system is modular. So when you create a park of just 100 of these devices, that power scales up to enough electricity to power 5,000 homes. Or, to put it another way, that's enough to supply clean, consistent energy to a community of 20,000 people. I mean, that's the power of scale, right there. This rendering gives you a fantastic idea of what a wave park would actually look like. You have multiple units, all working together, creating a clean power plant right on the ocean surface. And all that energy would then be sent to shore through a simple submarine cable. And the benefits go far beyond just electricity.
For Argentina, a project like this means boosting renewables in their national grid, creating local manufacturing jobs, strengthening their energy independence, and, of course, cutting greenhouse gas emissions. It's a win-win-win.
Now, a project this ambitious doesn't happen overnight. This has been a long, long journey of dedication, research, and just relentless innovation. Just take a look at this timeline. The idea was first dreamed up way back in 2009. The first patent was filed in 2011. It got national recognition from the Argentine Senate in 2015, went through successful international testing in 2022, and then secured major funding in 2023. We're talking about over a decade of hard work finally paying off.
And this document you see here, this represents a huge milestone. It's the official bulletin where the invention was patented by Argentina's National Institute of Industrial Property. This basically cements the technology as a unique, nationally owned piece of intellectual property, a true Argentine innovation.
So it all brings us back to where we started, just looking out at the water. With over 5,000 kilometers of coastline and some of the best wave energy potential in the entire world, you just have to ask, has Argentina's energy future been hiding in plain sight this whole time?